And Nancy Pelosi issued a press release. So what was it about? I have those details and more. And how will you get a $35,000 stimulus check if you're a parent under the third stimulus package? Those are breaking details. Yes, you heard me right, $35,000. That is not a joke. It is not conjecture. It's actually happening. Elsewhere, I'll be going over the real surprises that viewers have sort of uncovered in the last few days about stimulus and why one of the number one questions at issue is the package 1.95. Could the package be more? As you start your evenings here on a Sunday night, Wall Street will be closed tomorrow. Tomorrow is a federal holiday, so banks, post offices, and all federal and state and county and city offices will be closed. Tomorrow's a federal holiday. That means that Wall Street will be closed. But foreign markets are open, and overnight, the early indications from London suggest that trading in England is slightly up. On Friday, economic numbers out of London were not good. England's market closed at its worst level that it's seen in a very long time, and this is amid concerns of a lot of different factors. But Wall Street will reopen on Tuesday and will be looking to stimulus after a week, the shortest, and certainly the most distractive impeachment hearing in recent memory. That impeachment hearing is over. The viewers may have been distracted by an impeachment hearing. Other viewers may have been distracted by enormous power outages in the Midwest and the East Coast. And so, with that, I'm so excited for you to rejoin and come back into the family. Third stimulus package details will unravel and unfold more Tuesday and tomorrow, as the bill may be debuted to the public shortly. Why? Because the bill has to be voted upon by February 22nd. One of the big questions one of the viewers asked me earlier today is why February 22nd? The question was interesting because over recent days I've told you that the bill, the reconciliation bill, which is the tow truck pulling the tow hitch, has a February 22nd deadline for the call vote for the bill in the House. And one viewer asked me, well, then why was it February 22nd? Why was it not an earlier date? Really fascinating. I do not know the answer. In fact, the answer does not make particularly good sense because shortly after the bill passed the reconciliation vote a week ago last Friday, Nancy Pelosi said she'll get this done in a week. So if it was done last Friday, which it was done, why was it not called for a vote last Friday? Don't know the answer. Needless to say, the bill could not have landed in the Senate or have been voted upon in the Senate this coming week because the Senate is not in session. But let me clarify that as well. In session does not mean the Senate can't work on the bill. They will work on the bill. Rather, they cannot call the bill for a vote. The bill can go to subcommittees of the Senate, can go to the parliamentarian, can get chopped apart, eaten apart, modified, and more. And that's the important thing to remember. As you start the evening, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi both issued new statements moments ago. So now that the impeachment hearing is over, were the announcements about stimulus? Let me drop in the comments. There's 225 people in the room as we start an early evening. Do you think that what do you think the comments were tonight by Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden? Were they about stimulus? Yes or no? Now that we have the air cleared, or the bad climate, as we're told by the president, cleared, do you think it was about stimulus? Lorena says yes. Were the press statements issued by Nancy Pelosi tonight and Joe Biden about stimulus? Yes, says Dean. Says Lorena, yes. No, says Ralph. Let me see who else. Jenny says no. Yada says yes. Alma says no. Jenny says no. Yada says yes. Alma says yes. Interesting. So we're splitting it. It's about 50-50 vote as to whether the President of the United States and the Speaker of the House's first press release after the impeachment hearing was about stimulus. The answer is no. It was not about stimulus. It was about gun control, about the Parkland shooting, which has its third year anniversary. I believe it's tonight. And with that, both the President and the Speaker of the House issued new statements about gun control. They issued nothing about stimulus. which is not particularly assuring to people who are wondering about the urgency to get the stimulus checks out. Yes, I told you that. There we go. So there we go. What was the question? Someone joined the room late. The question was Nancy Pelosi and the President of the United States issued a news statement minutes ago, and it's the first news statement since the impeachment hearing was over. Do you think the press release was about stimulus? And the answer was split among viewers, yes or no. The answer is no. It was about gun control. The question is, when and where will the money flow out? And why, particularly, has the messaging to get the money out faster sort of gone on deaf ears? Now, this is the mindset, let me explain to you. As the bill lands in the Senate, by all accounts, the bill is going to pass the House. When the bill lands in the Senate, what is the mindset currently? Bernie Sanders explained the mindset a few days ago. He said, well, the parliamentarian's going to see it and she's not going to like the $15 minimum wage in there. I've already been running around trying to get 50 votes among Democrats to override her if she tries to take it out. So his focus is $15 minimum wage. Who's around the corner fighting for the stimulus check? Who's around the corner fighting about doing the EIDL bigger? Ultimately, you've heard that messaging from me, and you've heard that messaging loud and clear over the last few days. You need to reach out to Bernie Sanders for messaging about stimulus check, and Elizabeth Warren for SSI and SSDI, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Warren Cardin for business grants, and similar. And then you need to reach out to Ron Wyden for the issues of FPUC. By all accounts, it looks like the President of the United States is not betting on Democrats in the Senate to break with party line when the bill gets there. And that could be a risky proposition. If you've been a follower of this channel since April, you know that the next few days is a big historic moment for this channel. This channel's at 99 million views. Repeat, 99 million views in 9 months. The 9 months is not up. We're trying to get to 100 million views in this 9 months. So make sure you watch all the videos of this channel. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, bring in new subscribers, tell everyone to come on over. Because this is the channel that gets you money, gets you lots of money, keeps it real, keeps it honest, keeps it to the bone, and keeps it with heart. And the big surprise is that senators in the Senate, senators who are Democrats, have traditionally not worked as a tribe, and that they often do break party lines. And that appears to have not been taken into account by the president. This, in the recent days, Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, says that he will break with party lines. He will vote against the bill unless there's $600 of FPUC in there. $600 of FPUC in there, number one. FPUC will be tied to economic factors and will not expire in August, number two. And number three, he says, hey, this is not the way the Senate works. You don't tell us to just to stamp your bills and send them back over and done and sealed. We have to negotiate on them. This is huge, but if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, this is not a new story. Why? Because I've told you for a while that the House Democrats do rubber stamp everything that's given from Nancy Pelosi. The Senate Democrats do not rubber stamp stuff. They traditionally have not rubber stamped. And this is big for you because ultimately things may change. I'm going to push hard for what's needed to get to the people through a very difficult circumstance, says Ron Wyden. The president served in the Senate and he knows all these issues are in negotiation. We're going to pull all the stops out to get $600 of FPUC passed. I have fresh ammunition to get it passed. That fresh ammunition were the new unemployment claim numbers. My starting point here is to get my legislation that would reinstate the full $600 weekly and tie additional weeks of benefits in the program for gig workers to economic conditions. Translation means that the program would not expire in late August. Rather, it would be tied to economic conditions like unemployment. And if those numbers don't improve, then the system would not expire in August. Why? Additionally, because senators should not be doing this every 10 seconds. There's so much work to do, and the Senate can't be revisiting the economic relief every 2 or 3 months, he said as well. This is also really big news. Next. Oh, thank you for the dancing pear for DD. It's a dancing pear. I really appreciate it. So there you go. There's a person who's saying, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm a Democrat. I will think my own way. The purpose of the Senate is for us to modify language. We've always modified language, and I won't be the only one modifying the language. Well, I love that. And guess what? You can't keep on having these bills expire. Stop having the darn bills expire in the middle of the summer when everyone's on vacation. Carmen, thank you for the. What is that? 2 hands. I love that. Stop having things expire. So, dependents, $3,200, yacht it. No, the stimulus package, as we now see it, is $1,400 for adult dependents. The Again, it looks like another break of policy by Biden. It was supposed to be $1,300. Now it's $1,400. Biden keeps on betting on reconciliation and may do it again. A new report this weekend says that Biden may try to do reconciliation again for climate and infrastructure. I guess no one's going to support his climate bill. Where is the money coming from for this third stimulus package? Wow, this scared the bejesus out of yours the other day. I'm sorry when I mentioned this first time. But let me just say that there is a worry among Democrats where this money's coming from for the third stimulus package. No one has gotten a very clear indication of where it comes from. We initially thought it was going to come from raising taxes, but no, it may come from cutting other things. And viewers thought that Social Security cuts was the most obvious situation. We don't know, it's confirmed, so don't worry about it yet. But these are unordinary times, and you can't be sure that Republicans will go along with this. I think there's just a small and significant risk that Republicans will use this as a leverage to get something from the Democrats. I don't know where it's coming from or whether I have to be concerned or not concerned, says House Budget Chairman John Yarmouth. I've been told not to be concerned. I love that. Everyone's saying this. Zip it. Don't worry. When someone tells you zip it, don't worry, then you worry. Students are not worried. They have a $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness bill. It's separate from the third stimulus package. It's moolah. It's $50,000. And 56% of them surveyed in a new report from January Morning Consult says that they would support it. They were also asked if they think it'll happen. 13% said yes. The remaining 75% said never. So they think that the third stimulus, that the standalone bill for eviction for student loan debt forgiveness is never going to happen. So there you go. Friday started with the House Ways and Means Committee, the Labor, Education, Financial Services, Transportation, Small Businesses having passed the third stimulus package. If you did not catch me earlier, if you did not catch me last weekend, I told you that all these subcommittees were getting individual parts of the third stimulus package. They're going to chop and cut and modify language and modify wording and numbers. They did that, and they were finished on Friday. And those finishes were revealed when we obtained PDFs of the bill. As members of this channel, I'll repost those PDFs for you, and as I get more PDFs, I'll share them for you as well. $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 for a married couple, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adult dependents. Stimulus check threshold, $75,000 or $150,000 for a married couple. Phase outs are $100,000 or $200,000. The $3,200 missing for adult dependents, not there. Elsewhere, people are worried today after the CDC had continued to push her new policy, which is a suggestive policy. It's not an actual order about reopening schools, and her suggestions don't make any sense. Why? Dr. Rochelle Walensky appeared on broadcast news today, Sunday, and talked about her 5 guidelines for reopening schools. And none of the 5 guidelines asked for vaccinations as an element. They talked about facial masks and air conditioning systems, but none of them considered the vaccination of the teachers. That's caused a lot of ruckus across the country where some governors have said we're not opening anything unless we have that vaccination in place. Janet Yellen started the weekend by having a new appointee for a Department of Treasury. Now, if you have been with me for the last week, you know that the day that I talked about the third stimulus check part being in Ways and Means subcommittee of the House, that there was a provision then there that said the Treasury shall reopen the non-filer filing. This is a big one. The non-filer filing is an important tool if you don't file taxes to alert IRS where you are. An example is the following. If you don't file taxes and are not on benefits, then IRS may not know where you are. And if you have a child, they certainly don't know where that child is, let alone know it exists. So the non-filer filing was a mechanism in which non-filers, people who don't file tax returns, could inform the IRS that they exist and that they want to tell them where they are. Well, that non-filer filing disappeared around summer of 2020, at a time in which I said to viewers, do it now because it'll be too late when you do it later on. I did not at that time even think that they were going to get rid of it, but I told people do it right away. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait, and a lot got that message out. Well, Janet Yellen over the weekend could have re-brought back that non-filer filing. She could have instituted a process to find missing second stimulus checks because some viewers have still not gotten their second stimulus check. Instead, what did she do? She designated a new appointee to oversee climate at Treasury. The air over that story did not sit well. Elsewhere, McDonald's is taking on Burger King for the chicken wars, and the chicken wars are expected to heat up today as as the flossiest Valentine's dates take their dates to McDonald's for some chicken and fries. Uh, just wash your hands before you kiss. Next, the Ways and Means Committee really did not seem to modify much of the third stimulus check, the third stimulus package that we had hoped them to do. But don't worry, because the Senate can still do that. And that's essentially what Bernie Sanders has been tipping us off about for recent weeks. Bernie Sanders said the following about the $15 minimum wage. A week ago, he appeared on broadcast news and was asked, hey, are you going to fight for this $15 minimum wage when the bill lands in the Senate? He says, absolutely, I'm going to fight for it. It's a strong cliff for payments, so it doesn't kind of spill over to people who make over $300,000. And that's what I support, and that's what I think most people understand. But to say that a worker in Vermont or California or any place else, if you're making, let's say, $52,000 a year, that you're rich, that full benefit, I think that's absurd. That's him talking. So what he said he's going to do is he's going to be ready to get 50 votes to override the parliamentarian if she tries to take out his bill. He's pretty aggressive on that. So is he folding up as a lawn chair on stimulus check? It looks like it. Don't let him, though. $2,000 stimulus check on top of $1,400 was what was promised to you under Cash Act. In December, you was promised $1,400 Trump stimulus check and a new $2,000 stimulus check under Biden. It's not happening yet. It's not happening yet, and you need to remind them to do it. But when will the stimulus continue till? Viewers asked me on the recording and before this, do you think we'll get another stimulus check? I said, oh, of course. Do you think, but I said, you may get 2 more stimulus checks. Oh, wow. Why? Because unemployment will not be back to normal until next year. And if unemployment's not back to normal, the economy's not back to normal. You could have your neighbor, your sister, and your brother, and the downstairs neighbor, and the person across the street all vaccinated, but everyone could be staying home unemployed if there's no jobs for them. Who cares about the vaccination rate if they're unemployed for purposes of economics? There's absolutely no reason we should suffer through a long, slow recovery, says Janet Yellen. I would expect that if this package is passed, we'll get back to full employment next year. Yes, next year. That was her comment. We have people suffering through absolutely no fault of their own. We have to get it to the other side and make sure that this doesn't take a permanent toll in their lives. If you're talking about an elementary school policeman making $60,000 and faced with children who are out of school, I would certainly agree that's appropriate for them to get a stimulus check. Well, the question is, if unemployment is still not under control as of next year, then we could see stimulus packages into next year. It makes no sense to sort of discount or say we are done with stimulus until the middle of this year, if we still see all the economic downturns of this pandemic still in place. What are the economic downturns? One, no job creation. Two, lack of reemployment of people. So basically, unemployment levels still bad. And three, the continuing unemployment numbers are bad. So where are unemployment numbers now? They're about 780,000 unemployed people filing new claims per week. That's 780,000 new people going on unemployment each week. It's a bad number. That's on top of the continuing 20 to 22 people 20, 20 to 22 million people who are still unemployed since the pandemic started, and that 40% of people who are currently unemployed have been unemployed for 6 months. That number is approaching the worst number since the Great Recession. Thank you, Angelica, for the dancing pair. So, I mean, the issue is that if we're near right on the cusp of the worst continuing unemployment numbers since the Great Recession, thank you, James, the dancing pair, then why would we think that we're somehow ready to come out of all this? Thomas, Teresa, thank you, Teresa, for becoming a member of this family. Everyone, welcome Teresa to this family. How are you? And that's where the confusion sits. This coming Tuesday, when Wall Street reopens, because again, tomorrow is a holiday, a federal holiday, you're going to see if Wall Street wants bigger packages. The market's waiting to see how big the package is going to be. It's going to be important. They can get through reconciliations. This is Quincy Crosby, Chief Market Strategist at Prudential. If it's not big enough, the stimulus package, Wall Street will certainly say this too small. And the confusion stems from people on Wall Street saying, you know what, I'm worried about interest rates. I'm worried about inflation. Well, the head of the Federal Reserve said that on Friday. He said, zip it. I determine your interest rates and I'm not raising them. Stop complaining about inflation, not happening. Obviously, if you think about the big drivers, they're related to vaccine, stimulus, and inflation, says Michael Schumacher, head of rate strategy at Wells Fargo. There's more talk about, as we talk about stimulus, there's more talk about yields going up. No, there's not. No, it's not, because Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, said, pass the stimulus, I like the stimulus, and I'm not raising rates. So there you go. With 22 minutes on the clock and 700 people in the room, I haven't given you an update. Thank you for joining me on evenings LA. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, thank you for joining me on Evenings LA, the most comprehensive financial news across the board. And what a day it is. Congress is finally cleared its table of the impeachment hearing. People in the Midwest and East Coast who are viewers of this channel are sort of coming out of a lot of power outages in recent days. And finally, the focus is back onto stimulus. Wall Street will be closed on Monday because of the financial holiday. Thank you, Angelica, for another dancing pair. I really appreciate it. Wall Street will be closed on Monday because of the federal holiday. But when it reopens on Tuesday, they are focused totally on stimulus. In a way, the Monday holiday may help you because all those news stories, which are front page news stories on impeachment, will be gone by Tuesday. All the focuses will be back on stimulus. $35,000 stimulus check? Yes. How do you get a $35,000 stimulus check? Under the third stimulus package, there's a series of checks that are complementary. And one of the complementary checks are children who are 5 years to 1 years of age will get a $3,600 stimulus check on top of a $1,400 stimulus check. This is a lot of money. $3,600 and $1,400? Yes. How does this work? The $1,400 stimulus check will land first automatically, like your stimulus check. Shortly after the bill becomes law, count out 10 days, and that's when that generally starts to appear, the $1,400 stimulus check. But children 5 to age 1 will get $3,600 on top of that, paid as follows: $300 a month starting the month of July for 12 months per child. This is huge. So suddenly children will be getting $5,000 stimulus checks if they are 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. And that they're 6 to 17, they will be getting $3,000 plus $1,400. Just $600 less. And they will be paid $250 a month starting the month of July. Huge amounts of money. And as you sit here, you're like, well, I'm not getting that money. No, you're not. It does not make sense. There is, under the third stimulus package as well, for a college student, there's a $1,700 financial aid. Now, we don't know if that's a grant or a loan, but if it's a grant, that means that college students gain $1,400 and $1,700. So that college student's getting more than you as well. These multiple stimulus checks in different places in the stimulus package are very apparent. There's stuff for paid sick leave. There's stuff for EIDL grant, $5,000, $1,400 for paid sick leave per week. And ultimately, my job is to get you as much money as I can get you under the third stimulus package. One of the things I think needs to be modified is that the earned income tax credit, which is $1,500 for an individual who made less than $25,000 2019 earnings, would get that in 2022. I don't think that's fair. I think that person should get the $1,500 now in July plus their $1,400. So they will get $2,900. Let me answer some incredible 2,000 comments and questions from yesterday's recording. And if you have comments in today's recording, drop them in comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Thank you, Chris, for the dancing, for the face. I don't know what the face is doing. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. Orchard. Is it monthly? Because it doesn't make sense. Monthly stimulus, period. It does not make sense. Every time I talk about it, I say it doesn't make sense. It's a child tax credit, and no one has ever heard of a tax credit prepaid by IRS, let alone paid as a check. It's usually just an accounting item. It's literally exactly as I described. Ella Jones. Oh, the only thing we don't know about is whether $1,400 stimulus checks will have a dependent limit. It may be a 5-child dependent limit or maybe a 4-child dependent limit. Jay Zally. The circus of impeachment is over. Get that stimulus out. Sharon. They say this $1,400 will pay our bills to July. Not happening. Dolores. When are these checks going out? Donut. John Moffat, just more time and time and time and more time and time and time and time. I think he likes the word time. Yeah, the question of why February 22nd is in the bill, not particularly clear. Thank you. Nice comment, Jenny. Wish everyone tonight a happy Valentine's Day as well. Sheridan, the wolf at my door isn't impressed by the future tax credit. Oh, I missed that. I looked down for a second. That was Angelica again. Angelica Perla. Well, thank you for the massive dancing bear. I really appreciate it, Angelica. Thank you so much. And there's Gail with a massive dancing bear. So you see how I am always focused on getting you money. At the 29-minute mark, coming up after this recording is a continuation, but we'll also focus a lot on that rent and utility stimulus you can get right now. Right this minute. So I'm trying to get people money right now, not 5 months from now, not 5 years from now. Ironically, July is not 5 months from now either. So April, May, June, July. Yeah, so July is within my 5-month rule for getting you money. David Hawkins, still no word on what Biden promised for seniors. Doris, I think they should give us $1,400 plus $2,000. Absolutely. They promised it. Do they not understand that as long as we don't get stimulus, in all probability, Wall Street's going to remain on the verge of crashing? Very well said. Janet Yellen said that in the comments I just read. She said, If you do not get enough stimulus, the rebound of this economy is going to be very, very, very slow. If you give a lot of stimulus, the rebound of the economy is very abrupt and very quick and wonderful. So it's a great comment, Doris. Absolutely, I agree. We're already hurting. Retro unemployment. Let's do it. Absolutely. So there you are at the 30-minute mark. What a big night it is. I have 7 kids. I can start my own business. Well, if they were 16, at least 7 on dog stands. Stop their vacations and get the stuff done. If you have questions or comments, drop them on the screen now, and I'll answer some of your questions about this. I think it's stupid that they keep on making bills for stimulus checks. Why can't they just get them occurring as reoccurring stimulus checks? That is a great comment, and that's what I've been hitting at with staying positive, but also staying accountable to holding them accountable. That is consistent with what Wyden says, Senator Wyden, which is if you think this economy is not going to be fine by August, which it's not going to be fine. Janet Yellen says it's not going to be fine by August. Janet Yellen says employment will not be normal until next year. Then FPUC should absolutely not expire in August. Stimulus checks should not expire in August. They should already have a stimulus check ready to go out in another round because this economy is not ready in August. What is August? August is nothing. August is their vacations. August, the only thing that August represents is vacations for Congress. And what I mean is little vacations. They are literally on vacation, not out of session. I mean, they're literally on vacation. Angelica, thank you for another dancing pair. Very, very kind. So, I mean, the inclusion of an August expiration date for anything on the third stimulus package is ground zero to say you're trying to deliberately delay and not pay again. Because in March of last year, hey, when the pandemic started, we didn't know what was going to happen. Maybe that's the excuse. We didn't know how long this pandemic was going to go or what it was or what's corona. We didn't know much about it. Now we do. And now Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, and the head of the Federal Reserve both say we're not going to be economically back to normal until next year. So FPUC should not be expiring anytime this year. It's as simple as that. At the 32-minute mark, how would they like to wait for their checks? Absolutely. Any updates on mortgage assistance? No. No updates yet on mortgage assistance. And there you go. Thank you for joining me. I'm next live in just about 5 minutes from now. This video will end, and then watch the new video. It'll come up. There's another stream. Make sure you subscribe and hit that alert button and like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Watch for that new stream. It'll be coming in just about 3 minutes from now, and it'll be a continuation of Evenings LA. As always, stay informed, stay focused, and stay LA for more.